IELTS Writing Task 1 Percentage Vocabulary Part 2. Now we will see how to incorporate data in the graph. So there are two ways that we can incorporate data in the graph by using brackets and by using which plus is or in the other clauses makes up, constitutes, etc. So let's start. So let's see examples and sentences. That is, white is considerably more common than blue. White, then you can write 55% is considerably more common than blue, and you can put all these 20% and 50% in the brackets. So what I tell you, that whatever you put in brackets, if you read the sentence without that, it should make sense. For example, if you read it like this, white is considerably more common than blue, now the sentence is making sense. So that data you put in the brackets, or you can write like this: white comma, which is 50%, comma, is considerably more common than blue here. Also the comma will come which makes up 20%. Red, which constitutes 28%, is almost twice as popular as blue, which is 13.8%. The other colors, which constitute 8%, are considerably less popular than blue, and then you can put 20% in the brackets. Because if you will read 20% with blue and you don't put the brackets, then the sentence will not make sense. For example, I'll just read it out. The other colors, which constitute 8%, are considerably less popular than blue, 20%. So if you read it like this, it won't make sense. So you have to put it in the brackets. Now you have to learn how to group information. When you write task 1, you should always group information in a logical way to make it easy to follow and read. Sometimes there is a lot of information and you are unable to group it logically, so now you'll have to learn that. With an IELTS pie chart, the most logical thing to do is usually to compare categories together across the charts, focusing on similarities and differences rather than writing about each chart separately. If you write about each one separately, the person reading it will have to keep looking between the paragraphs in order to see how each category differs. So you'll have to group the information logically so that your writing task won't look so boring you know so let's see about the language of comparison, that how you would compare the data in the graph. Language of comparison is very important. So when you are comparing two things, then you use the comparative form of the adjective, and with that you will use the word then, or in comparison with, or there is another way that you can use it, as compared to. So as compared to, with, or than, used when comparing things or people, right? Especially when comparing numbers or amounts. For example, this year's profits are much higher as compared to last year's, or this year's profits are much higher in comparison with last year's. Or you can also call or say this sentence as, this year's profits are much higher than last year's. These are the three ways to compare data. You can use as compared to, you can use then, and you can also use in comparison with. So these are the three ways you can make a sentence in three ways. For example, mortality rates are lower for women as compared with men, as compared to, to men, or in comparison with men, right? Then we have got the vocabulary for maps. This is very important thing. um, when you are describing some maps in your writing task 1, so you must know the directions. If you don't have the knowledge of directions, you will be unable to write a report regarding that. So the knowledge of direction is like, north, east, south, west, northeast, southeast, northwest, and southwest is very essential. Between northeast and between north and east there is northeast, between south and east is southeast, between south and west this is southwest, and between north and west you have got northwest. If you have got this kind of knowledge, you would be able to use this in your writing task. For example, if you get any map, then you can name anything which you find in the center of the map. Then you can say the farmhouse can be seen in the center of the layout towards the north. Of it is this towards the south of the farmhouse, and this is towards the northeast. Is this towards the northwest? And this is this is all you can describe. But I would suggest not to overdo with the directions, because if you would describe each direction and time and again you would talk about north and east and this and that, so it will dim the beauty of your writing task. So this was about percentage, graph, vocabulary, and the directions. If you have any confusion, you can ask me later on. You can ask any question in the comments, and I would try to reply all.